Back, guys. I'm back from break, and yeah, for some reason the Roll20 isn't showing up in the overlay. I'm gonna fix that, but we're good to go. Travis, take it away.
All we need
All
is our
right.
pictures.
So you guys had managed to elude Venric to get out of
More
his
like he
the
managed
way
to
of his
elude
skeletons.
Yeah, he looted us.
Also, yes, he did manage to escape once again.
This guy, we need to
This
find
guy.
a way to
Little
kill him.
bitch.
Yeah.
He is. He
So
ran
cool.
away on a unicorn.
2 times ran away
On
on
a
a unicorn.
unicorn.
Who does that?
Apparently necromancer.
Actually, no. The first time he ran away on a horse that we didn't.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
found
get
and we didn't do
killed.
anything about.
Oh. Wait, didn't he take take our horse or something?
No,
we
he took his own
tied him-
horse.
Did he?
Yeah, we found his
I thought
horse.
he rode the.
No,
I don't
The
remember.
unicorn
That was a
ran
long
off-
time
ran off
ago.
after him.
Gosh.
but yeah.
Cool.
Anyways.
So you guys are heading back toward the docks, you said.
To the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, you guys had taken rooms at an inn fairly close to the entrance of the city. It's a very large city, so it probably took you like a good hour to get back to the inn. And it's gonna take you a little bit longer yet, probably, to get back to the docks, unless you all grab your horses.
I wouldn't want to risk Firefoot in a fight, so I would not bring her.
You can take the other horse we brought
Okay.
back.
It's
Yeah,
not
you guys
a
have
horse.
like a free
I mean,
horse
yeah,
right now.
We do, I guess.
Which is cool because I believe Nina's and Cabin's died. So
Mhm.
you guys were riding
Caven's
double
died
up.
for
Oh,
sure.
right.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys could probably invest in some new horses. Just FYI.
Well, let's.
Not I.
We
I don't think
do have
we
enough
did.
horses,
We
right?
don't have enough money, Travis. I don't think we have enough money.
Wait, real quick question, Durian. How much was your masterwork flute before? Do you remember?
It's like
Thousands
100
of gold.
Oh, was it? No, it wasn't. You liar.
It's a 100 gold in a normal
It
flute.
was like 50 gold.
It was.
Well, I guess at that
1 or 200.
at that
It was a
level,
couple
we were
hundred
just like,
gold.
that's so much money.
It was
Alright.
back in the early days.
Back in the days, less than a year.
Cool. So you guys just start heading back there. And as you get closer, you see a large plume of smoke. You know, it's probably been a couple hours now. And you see quite a few guards around as you start approaching close. And one eventually stops you and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, fellas, lady, ma'am. What are you? I'm sorry, I
Does
messed
this
that
person not know what
Lady-
a sex
Hello,
is?
ma'am,
Ma'am,
hello,
gentlemen.
men and women.
It's been a long day. I'm sorry. This been this terrible fire on the docks. What are you doing here?
We
We're
had heard
closing
about
off
the
this area of the docks.
We had heard about the fire. I had some goods stored nearby. I was wondering if it had spread beyond the warehouse.
Oh no. It was confined to one warehouse. We're currently investigating. A few witnesses saw people leaving here shortly after it went on fire. They're speaking with the captain now.
Oh no.
Did you have any information, or were you just wondering about your cargo?
Well,
We're here to
We
help
would-
him with
we-
his cargo.
I stepped forward and said we were the ones who were leaving the area. Had not realized that the warehouse had gone up. But we had, right when we had left the area, we had seen the crowds rushing back. So, if there's questions, we can answer them. Happy to.
Oh, well, yes. One moment. We'll see what the captain says, and he asks a couple of other guards to come over and goes to speak with the captain. Cool. So, do you guys talk about anything while he's gone?
I just lean over to them and say,
Durian, we'll follow your lead, but you have a story we should back up?
tell them the truth. We were here to meet someone, and I think the name of this someone will be of interest to the captain.
And we should tell them about the giant undead dino thingies?
They'll figure it out. They're doing an investigation. We don't need to help them with that.
Okay.
Cool. So, after a short while, a captain comes over, an elven man in some, a little nicer, little fancier armor, and says, yes, the lieutenant said you folks were present around the time the fire broke out.
Yes, that is correct.
Would you mind telling me what happened? Were you in that warehouse?
Yes, we were in briefly. I'll tell you the full tale, Captain. Do you mind if we speak privately? Rather than out, is there somewhere we can sit down? I'll tell you the
please.
full tale.
Yes, please, come with me. Guards, all of you, come with. And you see probably about 10 people
gosh.
start to kind of lead you along.
Okay.
They
I
head
just
over to
kind of follow along.
a warehouse, and
Is it on
you can
fire?
see they've kind of set up shop, like commandeered and cleaned off an area, moved some stuff, and they're going through a few things. They're like, sit down. I didn't get your name, sir.
Durian.
Durian, and your companions?
That's Fawn. Faunolin, and this is Caven.
I wave.
I see. Well, sit down. Sit down. So,
I should preface this story that what we have to tell is concerning some matters of interest, I think, for the lawful authorities here. But I'll start with saying that you may have heard our names. We are lately from Palatinus.
oh,
Yes, and I pull out my knights, the medallion.
okay, cool. You pull it out, and he looks at it. Ah, I see. I see.
I don't know if you'd heard our names, so I wanted to make it clear that we have.
I'm sure I have. It was a few months ago, but yes. Tales of your deeds have reached here.
In connection to this, we'd been heading north on a rumor of somebody who might have some information. We had had an unfortunate run-in with a criminal gang in Palatinus, the Black Fang. Perhaps you've heard of them.
Smattering here and there. They aren't very active in this area.
Well,
I should
this
say
may be the
not in
case.
obvious manners.
Sure, absolutely. Well, they are responsible for the murder of one of our original companions, Prince Orrin Barton. We had on travel here. We got word that they were taking an interest in us again, possibly for extortion. And that same day that this occurred, I had some goods stolen from me. A bag I had left in a room. I had reason to believe that perhaps members had taken it to recompense the fact that we got their gang in trouble and busted in Randuin's Bay.
I see. You say they stole your items. Can you elaborate on what was stolen?
Yes, it was the goods I kept in my backpack, an electrum sheet, fine clothes, several items of personal interest, and I'm a bard, my fine flute, and a personal item from a friend who's no longer in this world.
I see.
I have some interest in reobtaining said instruments, and so I sought to acquire information about where possibly the Black Fang may be operating in this area, or if there are any contacts. And in Kilvas, I received a name by the name of Altair.
I can't say I recognize the name. What did this man do?
Well, I was told that he is not a member of this criminal gang, but a member of the Dina Naya. We thought that a member of one member of one gang might have information on the doings of another elite criminal organization, possibly to their profit. I exchanged gold for information from this Altair.
Well, the Dina Naya. Interesting.
Regardless, this doesn't
continue on.
This doesn't go much further than that, because we came down to this warehouse on information that this Altair could be found here and could be approached for information. Well, when we had gotten into the warehouse, an individual what I can only describe as a spellcaster, perhaps a necromancer, accosted us, locked us in the warehouse, and set fire to it. We managed to escape
Necromancer.
with our lives, but... So you could say we were present and witness to the person who set this fire, but we had nothing to do with it.
Ah, so you're saying that this necromancer started the fire?
Yes, locked us in. I managed to get the door unlocked and escape. And by that time, he had fled on a foul steed of his
I see.
by magical means. He was running across the water.
Across the water.
I know it's hard to
Yes.
believe, but as someone who has knowledge of the arcane,
It is hard to believe. Yes, sir.
well, I had
Your claim, though, is that this Altair started the fire?
Yes. So, in interest of property, regardless of what you believe about his means of escape, he did set the fire, and we escaped.
I see. Well,
We
we've
thought we
recovered.
wouldn't, though.
I'm sorry?
We thought we wouldn't escape. The fire. When he started the fire, we were on the other side of the warehouse, and we weren't sure how quickly it was going to spread. Thankfully, we were able
See.
to get out with our lives.
Curious. Was anyone else there with you?
Other than this individual,
Yes.
no. No other people. It was just
So
the three
you
of
wouldn't
us.
be able to identify a body that we found within the warehouse then?
There was the guy that locked us in.
That's true. There was a gentleman
Yeah.
who had been aiding with the horse of this Altair, or whoever it was we encountered. We never got his name directly from him,
See.
but that person fled. This guy was... This person, this second person, I didn't speak with him, didn't know his name, and when he saw the undead mount that the necromancer was riding, he ran away.
An undead mount.
It's possible.
This
But
guy's like,
regardless-
what?
It's definitely more than possible. It was
Surely you can, even if these accounts are strange to you, surely this is a realm that is well versed in ways of the arcane, and as well as
Magic
feats
is
that
a
are-
known thing, but we haven't had necromancers. This is very disturbing news.
regardless.
Would you be able to identify possibly the body that we found?
I could take a look at it if it had been. I hope it is not maimed in any way, but
Well, he was.
happy to identify.
Yes. If you could come with me, if the other two of you could stay here, please. He brings you along.
Okay.
You said your name was Durian?
Yes.
Just Durian?
Durian Burr, but I
Durian?
don't
Burr.
often use my last name, and although I'm apparently could use the title Sir, I've always gone by Durian. Durian the Bard, or Durian Bard.
Do you
I
want us
see.
to see if we
You
can
have-
identify it either?
He's walked off with Durian at this point.
Okay.
He's like, bye.
Fine.
Ah, so you go by a few different names.
All of them, including Durian, but yes. I'm a performer. A performer is adept at wearing different faces to suit the crowd. If I'm entertaining, I am Durian,
Yes, of
Master
course,
Bard of the North. You know,
A great number of disguises, I'm sure.
not a great
if-
number, and always with the name Durian.
Of course. Here we are, and you reach kind of just a sheet covering what you assume, and as he pulls it back, are confirmed to be a body. And you do, in fact, see the burnt remains of the man who barred you in.
He's totally burnt. Can I recognize him?
You can recognize him. Like, he's burnt, like, part of his face, and one of his arms is badly charred, but you can recognize him.
He was human, right?
Yeah.
The hell?
I say this appears to be the one who had barred us in. He came behind us when we when we approached the warehouse, and when we had entered, he barred the door from the outside.
I see.
I managed to escape the warehouse and saw him readying a horse for the evildoer. But when he saw what the evildoer was riding, he ran away. I have no qualms.
He didn't appear to get too far.
I'm surprised. I had seen him last in fair health when he left, and as did the necromancer also had long fled. I'm surprised that he would have come back to kill a witness. I don't know who could have brought around his end.
Well, we did find a few things within the charred remains of the place. Perhaps you could be of some help identifying them. Why don't we go back to your friends?
Sure.
No, he brings you back, kind of sits you down on a couple of barrels or whatever that they've sort of set up as chairs, and he brings a few things out onto a table and says, "You said your name was Durian Burr? So then this is likely yours." And he pulls out a badly charred bag. Says, "We found a few items within here.
Uh-oh.
Half of a melted flute." He sets it
I
on.
hang my head. It was in there the whole time. I don't say
We
that.
found some papers. They look like letters between letters sent from a Mr. Dolan Burr.
Daddy.
He sets those on the table. You don't remember
I
having
glare
those. But
daggers at Vaughn. If you actually
Oh,
said,
no,
"Is
no,
that
no,
your
no.
dad?"
No, that was Allison saying that, not
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
If you
he
had
sets
said that,
those down. And
Because Fawn's still like, his last name's Burr?
he pulls out a only very slightly melted sheet of electrum. He said, "You mentioned this was on your person,"
Mhm.
and he pulls out an empty file with a charred off cork and some. It looks like something boiled inside of it.
This is
Just sets it on the table without comment. Reaches in, pulls out some charred clothing. Sets that aside as well as other things, some torches, some rope, whatever the hell else you had in your bag. We did find a few other things, sir.
a signet ring.
Yes, we are checking with the Lord and Lady right now on that.
Before my
we
bag
found.
was stolen, we were on way to see Lord Tegan
I
in
see.
regards to this ring. We had only recently discovered its association. I have a story about where this ring was acquired, but I'd rather
And
be
I
the
believe the
Lord's
Lord and Lady will be very interested to hear that story. We found this as well. Did you have a spare? And he pulls out a medallion of Knights Draconis of Palatinus.
Yes.
What the hell?
the keepsakes from my friend who I said departed this world.
Travis, I was
Josh,
supposed to have that
you're
one,
not
actually.
there. You're not there.
I know, I'm telling you, as I've always had that since Emrys died.
You didn't find her Knights Draconis medal.
It was not in her bag of stuff.
No, it was.
I think I had found it at the nest.
No,
Oh.
you didn't.
Really?
Now I'm
What the heck?
confused.
Where did it come from?
I
don't even
remember.
know.
Oh, I remember Josh saying, "I will keep it," and he had it on him.
Did you have her Knights?
Yes.
I'm
'Cause I thought
pretty
that was
sure
on
Josh
there.
had
I-
it
I
because
remember
I was
Josh
Yeah,
had
confused
I
too.
had it since I died, Travis.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm sorry.
I
Josh
always
had
planned
that.
to give it to a temple that had
Unless
that was-
Josh
Yeah, I was
had it
just
stolen
like-
from him and put in my bag.
Huh.
Do you want to change the rewind
No, no,
the
no.
story?
No,
Do you
no,
want to
no.
go with
No.
this?
No, I didn't realize Josh had that.
I
Okay.
remember.
Cool.
I remember him saying
Because
that.
Josh was holding on to because
I knew
remember
somebody
when they
had
had
it,
my
so I
funeral
wasn't.
pyre for Amaranth. Josh wanted to put it in the funeral pyre, and everyone was like, "No, no."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
We
gonna put
waited to
that
decide to
on
give
your
it to a
sheet.
temple. Yeah.
My bad.
We waited to decide to give a temple a call on Lothian
Yeah.
when we got closer to the homeland.
Yep. Or her family.
Closer to my
Well,
homeland.
hopefully this
Yeah, it's
doesn't
gonna take
greatly
a
change how
long
this-
time.
Hopefully
no,
this
no.
doesn't greatly
No, not at
change
all.
how this interaction's going to go.
No, he so
This,
he
you
pulls
liar.
out the ring.
Backpedal.
No, he pulls out the ring and he's like, or he didn't have it. He said he had sent it on to the Lord and Lady to be examined.
I know it looks.
Uh,
I know from the surface level there are a lot of questions. A
There
burning,
most certainly are.
a burning
As
warehouse.
I said, the Lord and Lady will want to speak to you. It was their warehouse.
Really?
Well, like I said,
Yes,
we had
it was. It was owned by the Tegan Shipping Company.
We'd been on.
Sorry, I thought it was like. Okay.
We'd been on.
So, would we have noticed the fleur-de-lis on their boxes and stuff there then?
It was on
Like-
the outside of the warehouse. Yeah.
Oh. Did you?
I
Oh. Allison
Last
didn't
session.
have that.
We didn't ask about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's fine. I say I know there's a lot of unanswered questions, but clearly, if there was something untoward happening, I don't think we would have behaved in any way. We came here up front with what's going on. As odd as the connections are, we had been coming up through CN to seek out word of this Black Fang, this organization, for our own safety, and had goods stolen, which included this ring, which we were en route to Riem as well to return to the Lord. It wasn't until was it Naysala? Was it Felice or Naysala? It was Naysala. Travis, right? Where we had the conversation. The conversation where someone addressed me as my lord and thought that because I was wearing the ring with the fancy clothes at that time, that was in Naysala,
that
right?
was Naysala.
You were super Francis. Soupy.
I am Super Francis.
Super.
It was only in
Super.
Naysala
Thanks
that
for
I learned
asking.
when I brought this ring out that it was connected to a family. To us, it was just a mystery when we found it, but we can relate it all to Lord Tegan.
Yeah. Cool. So he looks at you and says, "I see. Yes, the like I said, the Lord and Lady will want to speak with you. I'm sure almost immediately. Shall we head over that way?
Absolutely. And
Boys, keep looking. The rest of you with me.
may I
And
take
again, 8 or
remains of
10.
these goods?
Sure. He hands you the Electrum tablet, and he kind of looks and says, "The rest of it's kind of shit. Do you really want it?"
The vial of
Everything else
letters.
is pretty much. Yeah, you see some charred letters he hands to you.
And I'll take that cracked vial as well.
Really? This empty
It
vial?
had, if you don't mind.
Sure. He hands it to you.
He liked the flute too.
No, it's garbage. It's back to making.
It is now.
Cool. So you guys start heading over, and they take you to a nicer portion of town that you haven't been to quite yet. And they start heading over to what is kind of a cross between a manor and like a fortified manor and a half castle, basically. It's
Ooh,
this
fancy.
fairly large compound with it's actually got very nicely decorated wooden palisades around it. Then as you go in through a gate, you see this like beautiful manor house that's got like 10 feet of windowless stone on the first floor, but like a nice manor, well sculpted
Oh,
wooden
okay.
manor house on top of it.
Okay.
And they lead you up to kind of like halfway up the drive, and the captain goes on ahead to speak to some of the servants. You have a few moments. Do you do anything?
I asked Fawn. They didn't find your sword, I guess.
No, I dropped it when Durian gave me the rod, and I left it there.
I'll get you another one. Let's leave that part out. If
I
they
mean,
didn't-
it's not a big deal.
They didn't discover nothing but bones, then, or even not even that. Then it doesn't matter. They didn't mention.
Bones might have burned up.
It's not a big deal. It's just a sword. I can find other swords elsewhere.
Cool. So you guys wait for a little bit, and eventually the captain comes back out and says the The Lord and Lady would both like to speak with you. Please, come with me.
Just to Durian or to all of us?
All of you.
Okay.
And the captain and several of his guards actually go in with you.
Okay.
And they take you through kind of a nice, big, large, like, foyer hallway. Go into a rather large sitting room and direct you to a couch and say they'll be in shortly.
I kind of look around in wonderment, like, this is a
Yeah,
big
and-
place.
This place is beautifully decorated. There's
I'm used to
all
living
kinds
in
of
trees and stuff, and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
Keep
yeah.
describing. I'm gonna go fill up my drink for this conversation.
what?
Sure, like beautiful
Travis,
place
tell
full
us
of like
more.
knickknacks and little sculptures, like a lot of jade, a lot of pearl being close to
Painting?
the sea. There are paintings, tapestries on the wall, nice, rugs on the floor, beautiful upholstery, very comfortable couches. And you guys are given kind of a tray of some food, and again, kind of asked to wait a bit. The
Okay,
captain
despite
goes
it-
off and speaks to.
Despite it being
he goes
so nice and like them giving us food and it's really beautiful and stuff, Fawn feels really uncomfortable because she's not used to like an atmosphere like this where everything is so fancy. So she's just kind of like, I don't know what to do with my hands or anything. What do I do? She kind of sits there like really stiff and uncomfortable. Like,
Okay.
how do I be
And-
proper?
I sit. I
How
sit
do
as
I
formally
proper?
as possible.
How do
Okay.
I proper?
How do I proper?
It's a little difficult to do. I mean, you've got a little dirt and a little grime on you. A couple of you are rather bloody.
What? I thought we cleaned
Just-
that up.
No, we cleaned up. before we
No,
left.
you healed.
No,
No,
we
we
said
cleaned up.
we cleaned
Durian
up.
like practically rubbed
Okay.
Caden's back. Okay.
Okay, all right. You guys
Durian
cleaned
did
up a
rub-
bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Obviously not
So-
all of it, but some of it.
Yeah. So after a while, you hear kind of the
but you know.
yeah. After a while, you hear kind of the smart clack of military boots coming back, and the captain comes in and holds the door for a rather austere-looking couple that come in.
I stand.
Nice.
I followed
stand.
what Durian does, and I stand as
Yeah.
well because I don't know what else to do.
We stand up.
And
Yeah, and you see a pair of rather tall elves with kind of this sort of raven black hair, and both very attractive despite being a bit older. They're probably around their 200s, 220s or so. And they kind of come in, and the man looks at you with interest, and the woman's eyes are kind of narrowed at the two.
I bow deeply.
I follow
Nice.
him again because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, a little late. Kevin bows.
Like,
And,
is that what I'm supposed to do? Okay.
The woman says, "Thank you, Captain. You can wait outside." And she kind of, as the captain bows and leaves, she draws up a chair and sits down, as does her husband.
I look to
says-
I
Durian
remain.
and see what he does.
I remain standing.
I
Please
do what
sit.
Durian does.
We'd
I
like
sit.
to speak with the three of you.
Yes, I'm sure you have questions, and
Yes, we
an item
do.
of interest in your that was in my possession until recently.
Yes, and he pulls out and sets a signet ring on the table, and you can tell it's the ring you had. So, the man kind of steeples his fingers. Explain.
It's a long tale.
Elves
had
live
your-
quite a while.
I nod and say, "How many months has it been? 8 months we've been together, Travis? 9 months?
Yeah. So the party started on. Anyone remember the date?
Yeah, it's
Kevin.
written down.
I don't
think
remember.
I
No,
did
because you
something.
it kept changing around.
I don't have the date that we
The
started.
22nd of Flamma, something like that.
Let me. I've got my notes here.
Actually, I should
so
write that
it
down.
was.
Oh no, I don't have that one.
You
Oh,
met
25th
the
of Sombra.
25th of Sombra.
25th
So
of
it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today is actually the 1st of Oceano. So, yeah, it's been like
7.
6 months.
So
6.5.
what was the date we started on? Sorry.
25th of
25th.
Sombra.
25th of Sombra. So the last day of Sombra.
So
Today is the first day
25
of
what month?
25-4.
Okay.
25-4, yeah. And now it's 11-1 or 1-11. I got you. I know the right way to do it. I actually write my dates that way. So I say it's been over 6 months ago. I was traveling on rumor of
6 months ago. That's when we lost word with them. Says the lady.
6 months ago in the very south of Taurus. I met in Rebesh a party of fellows. Prince Oren Barton, Amareth,
Fellows, eh?
The
Caven
violent
here.
prince who died and his carcass was hauled through here?
Yes, the prince who was murdered by
Josh is
band
Travis.
a band of thieves, and a man by the name of Tycross Bloodaxe was his undoing. The prince. He was the first of our original party to die. But before any of us had,
What does this have to do with my children? Where did you find the ring?
It is
my
a long
lady,
story.
My lady. Please excuse my wife. Jadzia's not been able to sleep well since our children have stopped writing us.
Nice name.
Our twins, Tobin and Esri. I apologize. Perhaps I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. My name, if you do not yet know it, is Curzon Tegan. I am the lord of this city, and Kevin's getting it. And
Kevin's getting it. Allison's not
obviously
getting it.
I own the Tegan Shipping Company, which is our
Ezra
main
was the other
business.
kid's name. Tobin and
Tobin and
Tobin and
Esri.
Esri.
Esri. I'll spell all this.
Thanks. I was like, I'm just gonna guess how this is all spelled.
Before any tragedy had befallen us, we met in Rebesh as possible people who could get along as a party of adventurers, merchants, guardsmen. We had no goal at the outset, but we took to each other rather well at first. And I look at Cabe and said, some of us better than others, but we set out from Rebesh towards Relgard. There was rumor that we had heard word rather that a mayor's daughter had been kidnapped by goblins, and we went to investigate.
I see.
Between the towns of Rebesh and Relgard on the border, there is a winding path that led towards a cave. We were led to believe that the goblins had escaped with the mayor's daughter up that way.
I'm sorry, that's the border of Taurus and Palatinus, right?
Correct.
The southern border?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the southernmost point of the border.
Right below the mountain
You
range.
see him kind of look at his wife confused and looks back. Continue on.
Well, the events that would happen, these innocuous events, had significance for us and much of Palatinus, but the one quandary we had is after we had slain the goblins and recovered the girl, we found in a chest 2 signet rings of...
You found 2 rings? Where's the second?
I'll get to that. It is lost.
It is lost? How did you lose it? What happened?
We'd recovered the rings, both of them, and we knew little of their origin. They had no connection. Nothing in the cave pointed
Did you
to
find
their-
any other sign of my children? Their armor, their weapons? Any sign of them?
We encountered some oddments of armor, a piece of leather armor. I can't remember exactly what armor or weapons we found, but I do not think that they matched the armor that a lord's children would wear.
But you
Lord.
said leather armor, right?
Correct. There was possibly a shield, if I remember. It is some time ago.
A shield? Was it a small round shield, a carved lion's head? Made of wood?
It was, yes. It was. I remember that.
No.
We did not associate these rings with the weapons, but needless to say, we left and recovered. We accomplished our mission, slew the goblins, and recovered the child, and went on into Palatinus. was around this time that we discovered a note too in the Goblin Cave.
A
Had it
note? What did it
translated.
say?
It was in Goblin. It was instructions for a leader of the Goblin and Orc groups that had fled the mountains of Palatinus.
Foul beasts.
A man named
Still,
or
they're
a-
tiny and weak. I can't believe our children would fall prey to such.
Grip Hook was the name on the note, and it was directions to a pack of or a body of orcs to go harry the southern and eastern coast of Palatinus. We eventually did encounter this group of orcs in the town of Silvish. Perhaps you've heard of it.
I have not.
It is a small elven enclave, probably the last in Palatinus. They live off.
There are plenty of elves in Palatinus, says the Lord.
Yes, but this was a town, an elven town run. It was a majority, every inhabitant was elven, and they were being held hostage by orcs. Regardless, we continued our travels. We were serving as merchant guards for a time, and we traveled the length of Palatinus from the south to Steamport and then to Palatinus Central, the center city. But by the time we'd done that, we discovered that the reason that goblins had been harrowing the land and been seen about was that they'd been expelled from their ancient homes in the mountains of Palatinus by a pack of kobolds and a dragon, a red dragon by the name of Recumen.
Yes, we've heard of the dragon, and of your tale of you slaying the beast. Rather impressive, I must say.
Well, then you know the important points of the next part of the stories.
I must say
a
I'm
puzzle-
confused. Does this have anything to do with what's happening there now?
What is happening there now?
He kind of looks at his wife, and she looks at him and says, "We got a letter a couple days ago about impending war between Taurus and Palatinus. It appears that the Palatinus army tracked some goblins and orcs and whatnot to a hidden castle in the Darkwood Forest, and apparently they discovered there Prince Balak Taurus leading the beasts on their raiding and their scavenging."
This is news to us.
What?
Yes, I
This is
This is rather sensitive information, not to be shared outside, but
Understood.
the note we received from our informants in the area said that King Henry was considering immediate execution for crimes. Of course, the bad blood between the kingdoms, it will likely result in war.
My lord, if I
Oh boy.
maybe, my lord and lady, if I may be frank for a moment,
Yes.
the King Henry the Bold has been spoiling for war for many, many months. When we informed
Some would
his,
say that the Taurus royal family has been spoiling for war, spurned by they say the theft of their ancestral weapon, the Gem Hagar, and the war nearly 10 years ago,
The what?
after Amrius Taurus was killed.
it's true they have bad blood and enmity, but at the time of our crossing of the length of Palatinus, we had nothing but warnings, dire warnings of the dragon and the hordes of kobolds, and we sought an audience with the king, who would not hear.
Yes, what does all this have to do with my children? You haven't found any more information on them, have you?
No, and well, regardless, we eventually slew the dragon. Despite the fact that we accomplished such a deed, I think, if I may be frank, that King Henry was disappointed that the ultimate culprit of the unrest in the mountains was not Taurus itself. But regardless, clearly the peace is going to be upset in this land, regardless of what happens. They have been marching towards war for a long time. We headed north after we slayed the beast. We decided my doing to cut directly north from Platinus towards Phoenix Point, skirting around the rift. In doing so,
That
What?
ended bad.
Did you encounter the Dark Ones that are said to live there?
remind me, guys. Do I remember, or was I unconscious and they just like knocked me out? Basically, I think I don't think
The team told you what happened.
Okay,
Yep.
Like,
But,
it's not like you were
Amaranth never
unconscious.
revealed that what she said to keep me alive from them. But like,
No, but the basic details of, like, you got knocked out by the drow have been known to you.
we had a brief encounter with the Drow in that journey, and we passed unmolested.
See.
Well, they gave us some trouble, but we were assured passage after
I'm sure that
an arrangement
was
was made.
Yes.
But on
Anyway, what
in the
does
bush,
this-
on the way to Phoenix Point, believe it or not, a chimera was hunting us and slew our second companion, Amareth, the priest of Corlon Lorethian.
A chimera, a dragon, apparently a necromancer, the captain tells me. You have led interesting lives.
Anyway, the reason I've taken this long to get to it is I had held on to one of the signet rings, and my friend and companion Amareth had held on to the other, but she was taken away by the chimera, brought into the foothills east of Fort Kirribilli, and we never recovered her body. We managed to recover some items, some armored remains. The beast collected bits of metal for its nest, but her body itself was likely dropped somewhere, and the ring with it. That's why I only have one ring. It wasn't until I reached Cien that we actually found out, when I'd removed the ring and been mistaken for a lord, I only then found out the ring's association with your family, and we made all speed towards Riem to give you what news we could. The bag, however, was
see.
stolen from me in Kilvas, and we came to Riem hoping to recover it. Regardless, I have little else to tell but what we learned on our first days together as a party, though much has happened since then. I do not know what fates your children met. Perhaps they are still well and traveling incognito, or perhaps they are... Perhaps their ends were met fighting what became a great menace in the south.
At that, the Lord kind of sighs. The lady is just looking angrily, just staring at the table.
It's
The
not
Lord
our
sighs and
fault.
says, "Do you say that out loud?"
No.
No. She
What'd you
didn't.
say?
I said it's not our fault, but I was like saying that to
okay.
myself. Like,
Keep the comments in character, please. I will start assuming they are.
I'm
in
thinking it's not our fault. I don't know this lady, and I don't know her children. I don't really know where any of this happened. I'm just listening to Dorian like, well, obviously it's not our fault, but I'm thinking this.
Yeah, the Lord sighs.
I can see
and
that these people are very proper. I would not say that in front of them. I'm not
Okay.
stupid. My
Okay.
intelligence is 10, not like 5.
All right.
You've
The,
lawyered this one.
The Lord sighs and says, "I was hoping when the captain came to me, we had either, well, found my children's murderers and could exact justice, or would find some more information about them. But while I thank you for bringing this all to my attention, it's not much to go on."
And what I do bring is not welcome news, I know. I wish
Yes.
I had more to report, but
Well,
our involvement is merely... This discovery was incidental on our parts. And sadly, I say that I had no idea of the ring's significance until we made our way north to Cien.
yes, well, despite getting waylaid by various things, you did bring it back, and I appreciate that. I will have my butler give you a small consideration on your way out. If you do find any more information about my children, there's a 15,000 gold reward for their safe return. Though it seems we may never get to that point.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I nod and I say, I
At
appreciate
that,
it.
the lady kind of gives a...
Yeah, and
You can see she's trying not to cry.
Yep.
I
She's
say,
holding her nose at Capen Stench.
I
You need to
stand-
show her more often, buddy.
I stand and bow
He
and I
washed
say,
the blood off. I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
if you send
Cool,
word for to myself, in anywhere, I'd be happy to respond to it.
Yes, are you traveling anywhere in specific?
We had hoped to make our way to the capital at some point, but now we seem to have an unsavory tale on us. I've had goods stolen, and now this business down at the warehouse docks.
Well, the capital tends to be very safe. I know the council is convening shortly to discuss political matters that I would prefer not go beyond us. But I would hope that the Knights Draconis of Palatinus would not sully the honor of a lord by
Of course not.
spreading word. of
Absolutely
private
not.
information. Thank you.
You have our word.
Again, I appreciate it, and well, I wish it were better news, but I thank you for what you gave us. And at that, he stands and says, "If you find anything else, please let us know." He kind of gestures to the door. Excuse me, he says, "Captain," and the captain almost immediately opens the door and holds it open.
Yeah, I gesture Fawn and Caben out.
I kind of give them a small wave and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you guys walk out. The
I
captain
turn at
stays-
the door and bow for like a 2 or 3 second bow to the lords and ladies and leave.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, brush your shoulders off.
You walk out, and the guards kind of have you wait in the foyer for a bit, and shortly thereafter, a manservant of some type, a butler, comes out and hands you a small bag and says, "The Lord's courtesy, sir."
Say that again, Travis. I'm sorry.
The Lord's courtesy, sir. And he hands it to you.
Gave
There.
you back.
I say thank the Lord for me, but it is not necessary.
Are you,
Caben's
sir?
eyes go
The Lord
wide.
insisted.
Donate it to the poor, to charity, in the Lord's name. Then it is not necessary, for we had little to tell that would be of ultimate use to the Lord.
I see. You are most generous, sir. And he bows and leaves.
What?
Darian. Didn't.
What?
Come,
been-
let us leave.
Okay.
The guards kind of hold you a bit until the captain comes back, and
Oh.
then you guys head out. He says, "The Lord and Lady says you're free to go."
Thank you, Captain. And if you have any further questions, you can find us at. I give the name of our inn.
For
I
a
see.
couple
Well-
of days.
We hope to depart
are
either
you
on tomorrow
departing, sir?
or the next day to the capital.
I see. Well, we will forward on word if we have any further questions. I think there are many more questions than answers, though.
I felt that way for some time now. It has led us to many strange adventures.
Very well. He bows you off, and the soldiers head on their way.
We leave.
I'm gonna ask
Awesome.
Darian.
You see-
You've never been
you
one
see,
to give
guys,
up free
Nina-
money.
Yeah,
I
I'm
ignore the
also
comment at
confused.
first and I say, "You see what fun Nina missed? We got to stay in that nice room. We need to pair of nice.
It was
old-
very uncomfortable. I didn't like that.
What about the fun she missed last time?
Well, it's true. I don't know what her brand of
Right.
fun exactly is,
Oh dear.
but what was that, Caben? What'd you say?
I've never known you to turn down free money before.
Wasn't free. We did a service.
Well,
I don't know how much it would have been, but I have
let's
to
just
say
I've
that-
never heard you turn down money before.
you see, it's not money; it's value, Caben.
Hmm.
The value I got by turning down the money was far greater than whatever was in the purse.
Cool.
Well,
Very altruistic of you.
yeah. I've never.
Oh, it was self-serving. I think
It was
the good. I say the
shocking.
good side. I say to Caben, I say the good
It
side
makes,
of a
yeah, Caben
of
kind
a
of thinks about it.
lord.
He's like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
the good side of a lord. You know, it's a good deed, but it's also, frankly, it just puts us in a better position with the most powerful lord in Riem.
Yeah.
We brought
Out of
information to
character,
their children.
Allison's like, Durian, good deeds.
Right, right.
Travis, out of character.
Jimmy, out of character,
Yeah.
is like.
Did we
Durian,
sell that
good deeds,
shield?
fuck no. I just consider
You
it
did,
like,
you
it
sold
can't be.
the
It
shield.
can't be that much
Okay.
money because we
I
didn't bring
thought
them
we did,
concrete
but I wasn't
news.
totally sure. Because I think
No,
yeah,
you sold the shield to get a buckler, something you could use with a bow.
that
Yeah.
was the shield I had this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I remembered the leather armor.
Damn
actually,
it.
because it wasn't the wrong
Damn it,
thing.
old
to-
hell.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Cool.
I
So
would've
you
brought-
guys
shoot,
head
I would've
back to
brought
the.
that up then if I. Oh well.
No,
Alright.
no.
It's alright.
We-
Caben
I-
just
I'm
kind
glad-
of like realized it as he left. Like, I had a small round wooden
Durian-
shield with a lion's head.
I
carved
wonder
out.
if it
Durian
was the
jumps
same
in and
one.
says to Caben, "I'm really glad you didn't mention that we actually used the gear.
Well, it was just the shield, and I don't have it anymore. I didn't want to.
Doesn't matter.
I didn't want to
Keep
bring
that
it
to
up.
yourself. It would be more unfavorable if they had if they had heard that we made common usage of their children's gear and then
Yeah,
sold it
or
for a
sold
small
it for
price.
yeah, small price. That was. Nah.
That would have not made this go as
If
well.
I
I'm
would
glad
have
you
known that
did.
was a noble son shield.
No, we didn't know anything until very recently, 6 months later.
Yeah.
You know nothing.
But regardless, let's go find Nina. I'm gonna look at this.
She's probably still
Electrum
watching paint
sheet.
dry.
Clearly, we have some discussion, very brief discussion. We can do it on the way to the inn, perhaps. But now, good lord, dog. Sorry, my dog just let out his.
I
fast
heard
asleep
that.
over
I was
there.
gonna ask. Was that a dog farting in the back?
That was a loud dog fart across the room, and she's passed out. Like, look at that shit. Oh my god. The floor vibrated, guys.
Such a demure little lady your puppy is.
He's
Your
terrible.
doggy casting cloud. Take a will save.
What were you saying? Having a talk about what?
Benric
Uh,
recovered only one thing from the bag. He could have made all sorts of trouble with us for the ring, for the electrum sheet, for anything else that was related to me or to us, and instead he just took the egg.
Yeah.
That's worrisome to me.
Well, apparently they're perhaps useful, especially to someone who can raise things that aren't living.
Well, you said you were gonna try to sell it off to someone magical.
Well, I clearly didn't sell it. I got no money for it.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Someone magical came and took it.
I hate that guy.
Yeah. What a bad.
Riding around a fucking unicorn. For real?
Well, what can we do? I mean, we don't know where he went. Is he gonna pop up again?
The captain knew little of the name Altair, but the name Dina Naya meant something to him. It might have been a strike against us, or at least we only came out about even when I mentioned that we were seeking information
Do you
of
think-
someone of that
Do you
sort.
think he actually has connection to the DNI, or was he just impersonating?
I don't think he had any connection. I think he was aware and looked suspiciously at people, us, who would be seeking them out actively.
He had to have been following us if he stole your stuff.
He had to have been for some time.
Yeah.
And it had to be persistent, too. I have to
I don't
think
like
even
that
if
this
thing
guy I
is...
don't really know is following our party.
We've
Well,
heard him
maybe not
twice.
anymore. He got his egg.
Well, I don't think... If he was following us, he's been following us since before our hunt. Since before he knew that we had the eggs. I don't think his end goal is the eggs. I think it's a bonus. I
Could
think the
he
end
have
goal is
used
us.
the party then? In that case?
What do you
I
mean?
mean, could he have set this all up, the death of your friend, and then the subsequent finding of the Chimera, and then you all taking the eggs?
I don't
Could
think
he have set that up?
Because we made a pretty stupid move walking through that forest with the drow. I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Someone could have
Travis.
predicted every time. Every
Travis is
time
like, yeah, that was pretty
I
fucking
look at Gabe and I'm
stupid.
like,
Actually, I reckon
every
Travis
time
would
we've
think
mentioned
about
that
it.
our friend got eaten by a chimera, they think we're idiots. We're crazy because it doesn't happen. No one could have predicted that.
And he didn't believe. The guard didn't even believe us that this guy was using magic.
I know.
Well, they're simple common folk. Of course they won't.
But
They're
that,
elves.
I'm a
They
common.
grow up.
If you say magic does shit, like it does crazy shit, I don't know about it.
Well, I do.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
well, we're like the
Anyway.
same. We're both elves and like the same kind of background, but I use magic and you don't.
No, I'm saying I don't use magic. But if someone said, "Oh, this guy used magic to walk across water," I'd be like, "Oh man, yeah, that makes sense because it's magic." I don't know why the captain of the guard's like, "Really? He walked across the water, huh? Wow. What is he, a wizard?"
Yeah, he is probably.
Well, regardless,
Yeah.
we have to get Nina. I've accomplished what I wanted, though I wish it was different. The flute and
We got
other stuff.
we got
I'm
res-
sure you can get another flute, Durian.
we got a
I'm
resolution
sure there's plenty of
on your
flutes.
on your stolen goods.
Well, I still think that we owe it to the world to rid someone.
Get you another flute.
You weren't there, Fawn, to get me my first flute. You
No,
don't
I
take-
wasn't, but it's
don't
just
you
a
take
flute.
that tone with me, I say jokingly.
It's just a flute, Durian. You can buy another one.
But you get used to it. You get that. You break it
You
in.
can
You
get
can't just
used
play
to.
a new
You
flute.
can.
That
You know
flute
what?
could have lasted generations.
He could
Well,
have
you
passed
can get
it
a new
on.
one and not lose that one, or get it stolen and then pass that
You should
one.
have a
on.
backup flute.
Yes.
I did for a while.
A buff?
As an
that's
entertainer, I
right.
think
You
that's
did have a
probably
backup
important.
A buff. But then I got rid of it. It was an old wooden flute. It was not very good.
Well, it would have burned up by the fire anyways.
All right, enough. Let's go get Nina, and you know what? Right now, the three of us. What are we doing next?
Well, we were.
Are we pursuing Venric, or are we heading to Cian?
We can't.
Or are we looking into the Black Fang?
can't
Fang?
Obviously,
pursue
Nina doesn't
Venric.
want to pursue Venric, and how are we supposed to pursue someone who ran across the water?
We have no leads on Venric.
We don't know where he is
Eventually,
now. He went
eventually,
across
anyone running across the water at some point has to reach land again. They're
I
gonna
don't
fall
think
in
he
the
was
water.
running
Yeah, but when?
to land. I think he's gonna come back either here or to like
Absolutely.
a bank into the woods. He's not.
I agree.
running the
I don't
river.
think he's far away. And in fact, if he is I had a name. He was probably going under a pseudonym, Altair, and was apparently well known around here. I bet you he had associates. We could find out more about him. So either we stay in this area and find out more about Altair, or we forget him, have him pursue us further, this time with God knows what creations in crates and boxes. Or you know what we could do? I have another idea. And I believe the gods will truly hate this one. We could just pack up our bags and just ride west. Just ride.
Wait, west?
You totally could.
Oh, okay.
What would you be going towards?
Yeah.
You know, guys, I've never seen the Western Ocean in my lifetime.
Well, I thought
I'd like
you.
to see it.
Wait,
Isn't that
Maybe
far?
east.
Durian, I thought you were all about this.
We're
in
on
the-
the east
Oh,
in the
I
desert.
am. I just feel like cursing the gods every once in a while.
Oh.
AKA the DM.
Just
Travis
because the
is like,
gods make
"Fuck, I have
things
to relive this
interesting once in a
whole
while.
story."
Darian,
God, I didn't expect that guy. I'm gonna tell the DM to fuck off.
I would.
What do you, what would,
I'd be
what is
willing-
your vote?
I would be willing to maybe dig up, see what we can dig up here in town for a day or two about Venric, but I feel like he's gone for now. Might pop again later, and I would love to bury an arrow in his forehead. But I think he's gone for now. We can dig up some information, see what happens, but I would say, at least after 2 or 3 days, let's go to Siena and attend to digging up the information you thought we could dig up there about the winds of Shemamama?
Chimera.
The House of the Winds.
The House of the Winds.
Yes.
Shamalama.
You at least
Somewhere with an S.
you at least understand my reluctance on that. I'd like
Yes.
ideally we'd be pointed towards a goal and no one else would know about our goal but ourselves and we'd be able to pursue it. But instead we've got a goal ahead of us and two barking, biting dogs at our heels in the form of
Or farting
a
dog.
criminal organization who wants thousands of gold for us for causing them inconvenience, and some other figure who, God knows what he cares about. We just went in and disrupted. So Fawn, we went. This Venric, he was causing
we
trouble
caught her up.
outside of Platinus
We caught
City.
her up already.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, he was just some dabbling, sickly-looking cleric, and now we're his arch nemesis or something.
But
I hope he
Darian,
knows that we don't give a shit about him.
You
We're gonna kill him
said,
someday.
based on what we found there, the burned out husks, you said this was out of his league. There was someone else he was either working with or he had help.
but I'd forgotten. This is true, though. I remember now.
What do you remember?
Well, that
I missed the
I had
last
examined the magic that was performed, and that I thought it was out of Venric's league at the time when we first encountered him.
Yep.
The summoning stuff that he had done.
The burnt out crystal husks or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, you did look into that a bit. Do you remember what you found?
Well, Darian,
Caben just said it. Just that I had seen the remains of rituals or something that it
Yeah.
was magic. Oh, and also that what I remember is that he had summoned more undead than could be expected of someone of his caliber.
or of materials that were there, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Cool.
I'm
So
gonna
you
remember
guys
what I'm
are
gonna remember.
yeah, you guys are all kind of discussing this as you start to walk back from the Lord's Manor. Nina, during this time, they've been gone for a while now. They went back to the docks. That's at least an hour trip. They, obviously went with the Lord's Manor. You've had a couple hours. What have you been up to?
Okay. So, with my disgust at Durian not wanting to let this go.
Yeah, your mic is
basically
really
we left in the angry thing.
Josh.
Oh.
Josh, your mic
Josh,
is really low.
Yeah.
That better?
A little bit. It's
Yeah,
a little
I don't know. Go.
staticky and distant.
Like you're in Australia or
One second.
something.
It's like you're across
Is
the
that
Pacific
better?
Ocean.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all
How's
right.
that?
Yeah,
Alright,
go ahead.
So, with the angry state that Nina left, well, having them leave, of not wanting to let this go, she sits at the bar for a while with a drink or two,
Okay.
and then what was the name of the bartender again, Travis? So I didn't write it in my
It's
notes.
your friend Verdun. You've stayed here before.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Verdun.
right. Okay.
Right. I asked Verdun if he can write. Does he know how to write? Read and
If I
write?
can write, miss, I'm rather sorry. I don't possess that talent.
Hmm. Okay.
I can
Well-
read a couple bits here and there, recognize words, but I'm not sure I could put anything eloquent or coherent down.
Okay. Well, if I actually got to open my character sheet for this bit.
Sure. What are you looking at?
I just want to see how much money I have.
$1 billion.
Pretty good amount. 800 plus gold, $150 plus silver, 350 plus copper.
Okay, so I put out 50 gold, Travis,
Okay.
and I put it in a small bag, and I say, if I leave a message, could you deliver it to my friend who comes in? And I
Yes, and-
I describe the tall, full elf male.
He
By
knows
name.
who they are by name.
Yeah, with Caven.
Yes, of course. Do you want me to give him this?
Oh no. And I lean in, Travis,
Okay.
and I tell him, and I'll type some of this stuff out for more dramatic sense.
Sure.
Oh, boy.
And then I go into my room.
No.
And
What do you
shut
tell?
up.
No. What do you tell him? What do you tell him? Come on, you can't. You can't
no
just fade
more
to black.
whispers. No more whispers.
Damn it, Travis! I was trying to make this super dramatic for when they walked up. Um,
Okay.
All
Well.
right, so I-
okay. In that case, yeah. You leave a message and some gold.
and then I do
Okay.
a couple of other things which I'll type to you.
Sure.
And that's when I sort of black out there.
Well, I mean, what other things? Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah,
I think I know
I'm
where
gonna
this is
type.
going, but
Yeah.
cool. So you do some stuff. Rest of the party, you get back to the inn a few hours later. You know, you're kind of discussing on the road the whole thing, like what do you want to do next? And you get back to the inn.
Before we get inside the inn, I say, so I'd like to decide now, and so we have a unified front, because Nina's been intractable, and I think we should... She distrusts me. For reasons I don't know, but it seems that there will always be someone who always believes that I'm out for bad rather than good in this party. But regardless, I just think we should come to a decision ourselves, since we found out all this information, we've recovered the goods, what we decide to do next. What do you think, Caven?
Let's hang around town for 2 or 3 days. See if anything comes up. If not, let's head to Cien. 2 or 3 days, maybe we find something about Venric's pseudonym Altair, or maybe the Black Fang comes up again. I don't know, but I think we have.
Vaughn?
I think in here we've talked to the guard, and maybe the Lord would take us more seriously if something were to happen.
As long as there are battles, I will follow.
This might be a lot of talking and subterfuge.
You have my sword.
Fewer and
Hit my ass.
There might be fewer
Awesome.
battles if we
Awesome.
hang out in town, but there won't be any in Cien, that's for sure. All right.
Well,
If you're okay with staying, I vote at least stay a little bit. See if we can turn up something on Venric. I'd like for
That's
once
fine
to
with
be
me.
able to get the jump on him when he's unprepared.
That'd be nice.
All right, let's go talk to Nina.
And why don't we
Onward.
take a break there?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
perfect time for a
shoot.
break,
Troll
Travis.
the
actually.
end.
Extra dramatic
Oh, boy.
entry.
Dramatic.
All right,
There
guys.
goes Nina.
We're gonna take our last break of the night and come in for the final hour of the show. So stick around, and we'll see what the dramatic
We'll be
reveal
back
is.
oh my god. Then maybe Puppy
See
can.
you guys soon.